Hello, folks. Welcome to the Liberty Rock and Roll. I'm Randy Albers, and I'm still chair of the Fiction Running Group. Columbia College, Chicago. And happy birthday. Tonight at midnight, Chicago starts celebrating its 175th anniversary, and we hope to get a rolling start on the party. Glad to see you all here, and still vertical after a few long days in Chicago.
That was all right. That was okay. But we are in Chicago. I know y'all can sing it just a little bit louder than that. Can we do it one more time? Watch it. I don't want you to cook my bread, and I don't want you to make my bed. I don't want you 'cause I'm kind of sad and blue. One more time, sing it. Well, I can tell.
I feel a little funny following such a spectacular band, but if you stick around, they'll be back. The story that I'm going to read you tonight is called Moths of the New World, and it's a sort of sequel to a graphic novel that I did called The Night Bookmobile. He tried to explain his errand. You could come with me to find her. Of course, how sad. Certainly I will assist you. Apollinaire lowered his voice. It's very boring here. We work all day and all night. Nothing ever gets published. Couldn't you read each other's work? Apollinaire smiled as though Beau had made a joke. It's not at all the same. We write for the readers, but if William Shakespeare continues to publish after he is long dead, the readers think it is a hoax, you see.
I just need to tell you that in 1967 in Detroit, Iggy Pop and George Clinton got married on stage. It's a true story. It was a stunt, but I kept hoping that they had children. And they didn't, unfortunately. The marriage didn't keep because they were high out of their minds. Anyway. I will read from Love and Obstacles, the book of stories, a story that is called Good Living. You don't have to know anything to understand it other than the world is a terrible, complicated place. Back in the days of the war in Bosnia, I was surviving in Chicago by selling magazine subscriptions door to door. My employers thought that my Bosnian accent, clearly manufactured in the nether area of other cultures, was quirky and therefore stimulant to the shopping instincts of suburban Americans. So he finally said nothing, turned on his heel and marched out, not bothering to slam the door this time. The priest grabbed the couch pillow and started banging it against his forehead, howling and hissing in pain. I took the opportunity to slither toward the open door. Wait, he wailed. I want to subscribe. I want subscription. Wait a minute.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the machine, and unfortunately the Chicago White Sox fan. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, Irvin Welsh.
I'm going to read a little bit. It's actually from a novel that's coming out in April in the UK, September over here. And it's about working in a Scottish factory in the 1980s. Which, if anybody knows anything about Scotland in the 1980s, there kind of soon were to be no Scottish factories. So this is one of the last Scottish factories in the 1980s, and it's kind of based on a place where I worked, where we were building house panels, which is the kind of timber frames that you build the house around. You know, these kind of horrible prefabricated houses that kind of litter basically everywhere now. But they started to build them all in between Glasgow and Edinburgh, and I have to hold my hand up and say I was instrumental in this fucking blight on my country, putting all these horrible kind of Barratt and Gumley houses up. The key is to make sure that the shit comes out in a oneer with no break. That means you have to get close to the floor and be deft enough to move forward so that it doesn't coil, but straightens out in a line on the newspaper. Smooth action. I'm doing nicely here. You can feel it coming out at an even pace, in a solid flow, and I feel it touch the floor, and I start to slide forward in a slow, steady movement while maintaining the excretion. My fucking back is giving me jip. Ya beauty! Splat! I hears it falling onto the paper like a darted ape out of a tree. Then I arch myself back onto the pan, grateful to take the pressure off the lower back.